Hello, my name's Alicia. Welcome to the Dark Night Toolbox. This is a place where we're going to explore tools that are designed and intended to help us deal with life's challenges, like dark nights of the soul. And we're going to look at tools from lots of places and lots of times. And this is my first session, and it's one of 7 sessions that I'm calling What Are You Chakraing About?, where we're going to explore the Vedic tradition of the chakras. I want you, if this is a new concept to you, to just keep an open mind and really explore these tools and just see if they actually are helpful for you, because these tools have been around for thousands of years and they've been used by millions of people over time. And modern science has really proven their efficacy. Now that we can hook our systems up to monitor our heart rate and monitor our chemistry, modern science has found that these tools are very good at self-regulating, at regulating our systems. So the first tool we're going to explore today this is day 1 of What Are You Chakraing About? 7 sessions, because there's 7 main chakras. So you first might be wondering what a chakra is. And real briefly, it's a way of describing an energetic center in your body that includes physical, emotional, and subtle energetic parts. So the very first one, and they're cumulative. So you want to start here at day 1, and I'll aim you back here if you jump in on day 5 or so, because you want to start. They're cumulative, like building a house. When you build up your chakra, and you do exercises and practice tools that strengthen these energetic centers of your body, they build on top of each other like a house. So the very first chakra is called the root. It's called Muladhara in Sanskrit, which means home of the root. And it's your foundation. The essence of the root chakra is your foundation. It's solid, it's grounding, it's a rock. It's the base. It's like your stability and your security and your safety and your support are found in the system. The root chakra, every chakra has an element, and the element of the root is earth. Its energy is gravity, weight. So we're talking about thick, heavy, density, solid, grounding, beginning that everything else is built upon. Now, the reason why I really like these chakras and this system of understanding our subtle energetics is because the 7 is important. There's 7 main, most commonly referred to chakras. There's many others, but just like every chakra also has a color in the light spectrum. And when you put sunlight through a prism, it splits into 7 visible rays: red, orange, yellow, green followed by blue, indigo and violet, rainbow song for you. And each wavelength of light is a different length. That's why it looks a different color. So red wavelength is the longest, slowest wavelength of light. And the root is the solid, most dense energy of our body. And they also correspond to a musical note. And there's 7 musical notes. And the note that corresponds to the root chakra, the first chakra, is the note of C, which has the longest frequency. It's about 16 hertz, and also the longest wavelength. It's about 2,000 centimeters long, if you measured the wave of the sound. So I just find that's really interesting to me, and I find that it helps me understand that this is useful. It's a natural pattern. So the root chakra is located in your physical body, kind of at the base of your spine. Between the base of your spine comes down, and you have a pubic arch in the front, and between them there's sort of like the cavity of your insides, and in the very middle of that is your perineum. So the root chakra doesn't have anything to do with reproduction, has nothing to do with your sexual organs, but it does have to do with 3 main body systems that are the key systems for survival. It has to do with digestion. It governs digestion. It governs our skeletal system, our bones, and it governs the immune system. So if you're having physical issues in any of those areas, with your immunity, with your digestion, any of those problems there, or problems with your bones, this is where you might want to practice some of these tools that can be helpful for strengthening those parts of your body. Every chakra also has a gland, so and a hormonal function. The gland that the root chakra governs is the adrenal gland. Now, the adrenal gland is our is our fight, flight, or fight mechanism, right? So we understand a threat, real or perceived, and our body kicks into this adrenal system where your cortisol is raised, your heart rate goes up, and you also have your metabolism. Cortisol increases your metabolism, aldosterone increases your heart rate, and the fight, flight, or freeze chemistry is happening back here in your amygdala. This is our ancient brain. This is the oldest part of our developed brain. Some call it the reptilian brain. But this part of our brain is incredibly important. It has kept us, its intention, its purpose, and the purpose of the root chakra is survival. So when our body kicks into this sympathetic nervous system, we're intending to survive. And fear is I would say, some say the block to this chakra, but I consider fear to be a guardian of survival. I consider fear to be a friend, not a foe. Fear is intelligently designed throughout our development to ensure that we live, okay? So fear is there to guard us, to protect us. But the problem is, in this modern world, we no longer have immediate physical threats coming at us, and that's what fear is designed to respond to. So we have these kind of subtle, low-level, consistent threats coming at us, like paying our bills, getting the kids to school, driving in traffic, all these things that are happening every day. But they're not, we can't get up and run for our lives. We're not fighting for our lives. But our chemistry and our body wants us to do that. Or even freeze. Freeze is one of these responses as well. And if you try to hold really still, you'll see how much energy burns up when you try to do that. So historically, fear, you had this chemical reaction, and then you had your physical reaction to the chemical reaction that would resolve the fear for your body, so you could go back to rest. You could go back to parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest. Okay, so what happens with fear? And fear has many names. This can be all the way on a range from nervous tension and anxiety all the way over to horror and terror, okay, and everything in between. But it's all fear, and it's all a result. The emotion is part of this chemical reaction of the adrenal gland kicking in, trying to save our lives, okay? So what we tend to do in this modern world, there's usually a behavioral tendency that goes along with the experience of fear, and that tends to be, for many people, including myself, we tend towards patterns of addiction, okay, and maybe gluttony, the vice of gluttony. So a pattern of addiction doesn't mean that you're a heroin addict or a drug addict at all. A pattern of addiction is simply anything that you do on a regular basis when you're feeling nervous and anxious, you have this anxiety, and you have a crutch. You reach for something that soothes you and calms you down, but that crutch isn't necessarily helping release the chemistry of fear or the background of fear in your life. So you just keep feeling anxious, reaching for your crutch, calming down a little bit, but then going right back to anxiety. Okay, and so I want you to think about what you did when we were told we had to go into voluntary house arrest. Okay, so for myself, my crutch is wine and sugar. Okay, so I went out and I bought a block of cheese, cream cheese, and not just like the little block. I bought the giant, like twice as big as my head, block of cream cheese, took it home, made cheesecake, went and bought some really nice wine, and it basically was like, well, if I'm going out, I'm gonna be eating cheesecake, drinking wine, okay, because those things make me feel good. They relieved my fear, they relieved my anxiety, but only temporarily. And after a number of days, I found myself having cheesecake for breakfast with like a wine headache, and I was like, ooh, okay, wait, I didn't go to my toolbox. What's my tool for this? Because I'm harming my body, I'm harming myself, I'm not fixing my situation, I'm not improving anything, all right? I'm just leaning on my crutch. I'm in a pattern of addiction, okay? So reflect on yourself and think about what did you do when that overwhelming anxiety came upon all of us all at once, right? So that will help you see maybe what your pattern of addiction is, and maybe what your go-to crutch to counter what fear and anxiety is. So we tend towards these behaviors, and now when we recognize this, there is help. Okay, so I want you to think about who you're going to call, who's going to be your helper when you're experiencing fear, when you're feeling nervous, when you're feeling tense, when you're feeling anxious. And you know that these feelings are intended to help you survive, but they're out of place. They're not working efficiently in the modern world, even though they're intelligently designed for surviving in the wild. They don't really work in the civilized world. So who are you going to ask for help? And I want you to take a second or a minute and think about that. Make a guess. And I call this helper, I call them the warrior. And for every chakra, there's a purpose. The root is survival, and there's a guardian. Fear is the guardian of survival, and then there's a warrior. And the warrior is the helper that's going to help you when you're experiencing the guardian and it's misleading you to bad behaviors, okay? So the warrior for fear is connection. It's not your strength. This is not about you. The warrior for fear is connection. It's reaching out. It's asking for help. It's calling a helpline. It's talking to your friends and family. It's the support of being in a supportive community. That connection is the counter to fear. And so let's just say, well, even if you do have people around you who are supportive people, you also have nature around you. And nature is deeply connecting. Just going barefoot on the ground, looking what's happening with the weather, feeling the wind on your cheek. Our pets are incredibly connecting for us. Petting your pet, feeding your pet, taking care of an animal, being sensitive and aware of another living thing, deeply connecting, okay? Will counter fear, will temper your gluttony, will temper your behavioral choices that are going in the wrong direction, and then the healthy direction, all right? There's a better way. So, and I want you to think about one thing. Let's just say you have no friends and you have no pets and you're in a windowless room you can't get out of, and there's no nature connection for you. If you are alive, you are in a physical body and you are breathing, and our physical bodies are deeply connecting for us, for fear. And when we experience fear, if you remember that when you breathe in, you're breathing in oxygen that was created by all the plants of the earth, and when you breathe out, you're giving carbon dioxide back to those plants. You breathing out is connecting. You are part of this system. You are breathing in, you're breathing out, you're alive, you're connected. Okay? So, we're going to move now. That was the knowledge part. That's 10 minutes of talking. So now we know what our intention is. Our intention is to self-regulate and understand tools that are going to help us do that. We understand the root chakra and its purpose of survival, its guardian of fear, the warrior of connection. And now we're going to get out of our heads and we're going to get on our yoga mats and we're going to work on some other tools for our soma, for the intelligence of our body. Okay? There's 3 things I want you to consider doing that I consider tools on the way to the mat. Okay? And basically we want to create a sense of self-care and a sense of ritual for our tools today and every day, hopefully. And the 3 things that I want you to make sure you do before you get on your mat is 1, make sure you're really comfortable. The room is a good temperature. Your clothes are not tight. There's no tight elastic containing you anywhere. That you're really, really comfortable. The second tool that I find really useful that comes from the Vedic tradition is aromatherapy. So aromatherapy is simply using plant medicine. So you're using the essential oils of distilled plant to affect the chemistry of your body. So I find that for the root chakra, for grounding, any of the aromas of the big trees, like a fir or a pine, I find those to be very grounding and also reminds me of Christmas and stuff like that. It makes me feel warm and held and grounded and connected. Also, maybe for you, it might be something that inspires the color of red, like a cinnamon or a clove. You might find works for you well for grounding the root. So I'm using for myself a black spruce, and I don't really like I'm trying to minimize EMFs in my home. That's another tool I'll talk about another day. But so for aromatherapy, I don't have a diffuser. But what I find really works is you just take one of these makeup removers, put a couple daubs on there, and you can put this next to your mat. You can tuck it in your pocket if you have one. But it really, I find, works well for aromatherapy. And the third tool, as we get our way to the mat, is that I want you to maybe play around with and see if it works for you. Is I call it rocks, crystals, and gems. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to look at, I love rocks. I've been collecting them my whole life, and I find them to be like, they kind of talk to me. I can feel them and their energy, and I find them really helpful. So the root is the color red, and when you see the color red, what that means is that that material, like my shirt, is absorbing all of the other wavelengths of light, except for it's bouncing the red back to your eyes to be caught. So red, any rock that's red or black is really good for the root. So like there's a lot of black stones that are really will help you release densities and pull toxins out, like hematite and some of those other dark, thick, heavy stones. For the root, I have a little of my personal collection. I have a garnet that came from Petra, actually, an ancient cut garnet that probably should be in a museum, not in my hand, but there you go. I also use a crystal from Mount Erebus in the southernmost part of in Antarctica. There's the mountain that when it erupts, it's so cold that the stone crystallizes in the air. So I have a crystal from that volcano, and I use this stone for my root chakra energy as well. It's tiger's eye, which many people would put with maybe the solar plexus chakra, a different chakra, but I find it really helps me with my roots. So when we work with the stones and with aromatherapy, I also have this handful of red jasper that my son collected for me. Find things that, like all these stones and the history and the stories behind them, help me feel grounded, help me feel supported, help me feel cared for, and remind me of times and places where I really had that energy. So when you look for your aromas and you look for your stones and gems, find ones that make you feel like home, like feel safe and feel grounded and feel protected. Okay, so get yourself set up and I'll see you on the mat. Okay, we're going to start today on our soma practice in mountain pose. I want you to put your feet about hip width apart, and I want you to kind of rock your weight back and forth, side to side, however feels good to you, till you find that place. Maybe even close your eyes if it feels comfortable. So you find that place going from your heels to the pads of your feet, where you're perfectly centered in balance. Almost like the easiest place to stand, where it's almost effortless to stand. And this is called Tadasana, mountain pose. And in this pose, we're going to begin our tool exploration by making the statement of the root chakra. The statement of the root chakra is, I am. Going to breathe in through your nose, put your tongue behind your teeth at the top of your mouth, out through the mouth. To release. Again, I am. One more time. I am. Now we're going to get in touch with the root chakra by making the sound of the root chakra. The sound of the root chakra is O, as in so. And if I was musically inclined, I would sing into the note of C, but I'm just going to do what feels good to me. When I sing, when I chant this O, I want it to come from deep in my belly. So when I breathe in, I fill my lungs all the way to the bottom. Breathe in through those, out through the mouth to clear. And 3 times we'll chant. O. Breathe in, we're going to let that go, and we're going to move into a visualization, which we're going to couple with another tool called a mudra. Mudra is simply a hand position. The mudra for the root chakra is thumb to index. And we're going to stay in Tadasana, stay in mountain pose, find your perfect spot of balance. If it feels good and comfortable, close your eyes or gently soften your gaze. And I want you to begin to notice your perineum. Notice that root place of your root chakra. And I want you to imagine a brilliant red ruby, a brilliant red crystal there that's pulsating, spinning with red light. And I want you to imagine that red light, and every breath you breathe in, almost like you're firing up the fire of that red light, breathing out, allowing anything dense to fall. Keep breathing in and out to the root chakra. If it feels good, you can make an opening motion. Breathing in, the red light expands. Breathing out, it envelops you. Breathing in, red like poppies, red like roses, a beautiful red spinning glow, expanding from your root chakra, from your perineum, expanding outward, getting bigger in every breath. In and out. This red glow expands until it encompasses your entire being. It surrounds you. And when you feel yourself surrounded by this beautiful red light, held gently by gravity, I want you to start to notice gravity. Notice your body. Notice any tensions or heavinesses. Breathe in, and I want you to imagine a root extending from your root chakra down to the earth, through the building, through the floor, drawn by the pull of gravity all the way down. Your root extends till it hits the soil, the topsoil of the earth, and intermingles your root down through all the roots of the plants and the life and the living creatures of the soil. And still your energetic root is pulled further, all the way through the crust of the earth, down through the solid bedrock, in all the fissures and cracks and underground water. And you feel yourself drawn by the gentle pull of gravity, exploring, finding your way down, deeper through the crust to the lithosphere, the thin layer of molten lava on which all the continents drift. And you find your way, your roots through that lava, feel its warmth, feel its heat, and you're drawn still further still down into the mantle of the earth, a solid layer 3,000 kilometers thick, compared to only about 70 in the crust. This is a long journey for your roots through all of the mantle. And as you feel yourself drawn by this gravity, pulling you even further still, begins to warm. It gets warmer and warmer through the mantle until you reach the outer core, a liquid layer of iron about 2,000 kilometers thick. And you find the pull and the weight and the draw of gravity pulling you even further still, down through the outer core, through the heated molten iron. And you feel the heaviness and the draw and the pull even farther still, until as you pass through the outer core of the earth, which is spinning past your roots gently in a westward direction towards the sunset, your roots finally reach the core of the earth, a solid crystalline form the size of the moon, made of iron, so hot, hotter than the surface of the sun, but yet not a liquid because of the pressure of all the other layers of the earth down upon this gravitational pull. And the gravity pulls you further still down into the very center, the crystalline core of the earth. And you feel it spinning gently to the east towards the sunrise. And you feel through your roots, you feel the outer core spinning to the west towards the sunset. And you feel this rotation creating
a gravitational pull, a geomagnetic pull. And you feel this deep in your bones, you feel this in your body, and you feel this deeply rooted connection to the planet. And as you breathe in, you remember the surround of the red light, and as you breathe in, you draw from this deep-rooted connection, gravitational pull to the center of the earth. You breathe in energy from the earth, and as you breathe out, you relax and you release, and you soften as you scan your body for any densities, any thickness. No story, no identification, just a feeling of tension, of thickness, of hard, solid. And you allow that to soften. You allow those densities to fall almost like stones through water, flowing through your roots, down to the very center of the earth, the transformational core of the planet. And all of your anxiety, all your worries are simply compost to be turned into something new through your deeply rooted connection to the earth. And I want you to kind of soften, take a few more breaths, bringing energy up, releasing tension out, softening and relaxing, scanning through your body, any tense areas. Breathing in positivity, releasing anything that does not serve you. Slowly bringing your awareness back to your body. If you continue to hold that deeply rooted sense of gravity through your perineum, feel that deep root connecting you to the earth. Feel your root chakra. Imagine the beautiful red hold upon you. I want you to step from our visualization, maybe shake it out a little. And we're going to remain standing, and we're going to move into another tool. Visualization is a powerful tool, and I hope that you will play with it and experiment and see how it might help you. We're going to move now into a tool called pranayama, and pranayama is breath work. Breathing exercises. If it feels right, you continue to hold your hands in the mudra for the root chakra. And we're going to do our first pranayama. This tool, if you take nothing away from today, I hope that you will use this tool, because this is one of the most practical and useful tools I have in my toolbox. And it's called 4-part breath. And it goes like this. You breathe in for an equal count, hold for an equal count, breathe out for double the count, hold for an equal count. So, for example, it can be 5, 5, 10, 5, 10, 10, 20, 10. We're going to do 3, 3, 6, 3. And I'm going to start a little timer here. We're going to do a few minutes of this breathing. And you can follow my count or go at your own pace. Breathe in for 3. Hold for 3. Out for 6. Hold for 3. In for 3. Hold for 3. Out for 6. Hold for 3. In for 3. Hold for 3. Out for 6. Hold for 3. In for 3. Hold for 3. Out for 6. Hold for 3. In for 3. Hold for 3. Out for 6. Hold for 3. In for 3. Hold for 3. Out for 6. Hold for 3. In for 3. Hold for 3. Out for 6. Hold for 3. In for 3. Hold for 3. Out for 6. Hold for 3. Now that was 2 minutes of that. And honestly, this tool is incredibly useful even for 10 seconds or 3 rounds of breath, or if you get cut off in traffic and you have that reaction. And for me, I feel the hair stick up on the back of my hands. And if I can remind myself, do 4-part breath, just do 1 round, just do 2 rounds, 3 rounds, however many, and it's invisible too. I was raising my hand and moving a lot, but you can do this silently, quietly in a stressful meeting. You can do it maybe when your kid's telling you to go somewhere you don't want to go. Okay, you can just pause, do this breath, quietly, silently. This is an incredibly useful tool. 4-part breath, play with it. It's a great tool. Now we're going to move to our next pranayama, and this one you cannot do everywhere. It's very goofy. I want you to come down into a squat. Now, if this isn't comfortable for you, you can put something under your heels, or you can be on a chair. You can, you could be sitting, but I want, if it's comfortable, come down to a squat. And now, before the modern day of flush toilets, we used to do this a lot. We used to squat a lot, and squatting itself is really good for you. But this pranayama is incredibly grounding, this one, which I call squat with sound breath, okay? So not only are we going to squat, which is goofy enough, if it's comfortable, you can put your elbows in your knees. But now we're going to do something even more ridiculous. We're going to pant like a dog, okay? So I'm going to put the timer on. We're going to do this for 2 minutes. Big breath in. Big breath out to clear. Big breath in. Now we're going to pant. Okay, I don't know if that was 2 minutes, but that was as long as I want to do it. So I'll do another round. Okay, big breath in. Breath out to clear. Breath in. Another round. I'll do one more round. Breath in, out to clear. Breath in. Okay. Seat, let's have a seat. Come to a comfortable seat. Check in with your body, see how you feel. We're going to, in your comfortable seat, you can sit cross-legged if it's comfortable for you. One important thing about cross-legged position is you want your hips to be higher than your knees. So let's say you don't have a block like I don't. What you can do is grab a pillow, put it under you. So you want your hips above your knees to be a comfortable seat. And I want you to notice which foot is naturally most comfortable for you in the front. And again, if you're more comfortable in a chair, if you don't like to sit cross-legged, you can do this exercise in a chair as well. Now we're moving into the yoga asanas. So a yoga asana is a position, and we're going to start with one called pelvic rotations. Okay, so I want you to breathe in. You can have you use your mudra if it feels comfortable, or hold on to your knees. We're going to breathe out and slowly start turning to the right. breathe. You can feel this in your side body. It should feel really good. Feel your root, feel your perineum, feel yourself connected to the ground when you're touching the ground. And we're going to do an affirmation. We're going to do affirmations with our yoga asana. So affirmations are statements that we would like to be true. And as we do this exercise, I want you to say to yourself or in your mind, I am safe and secure. I am safe and secure. All right, now we're going to trade our feet. Put your other foot in front. And we're going to now go the opposite direction. Big breath in, big breath out. I am safe and secure. I am safe and secure. About 20 more seconds of this. It's really feeling your body loosening, softening, and grounding. I am safe and secure. Okay, our next yoga asana is another one that looks quite goofy, but I find it really useful. We're going to lie down on our backs and put our feet up in the air. Okay, and let's just check my notes here. The affirmation for this exercise, I want you to just start shaking your feet. We're just going to shake it out a little bit, and shaking it out is something animals do all the time. After a stressful situation, they'll shake out, really releases a lot of stress. Just kind of shake our legs. This is also a really common element of Qigong. So we're shaking it out, Maybe get your hands up there too, and I want you to say to yourself, I am ready to release old habits. I am ready to release old habits. I am ready to release old habits. And now kind of with intention, we're going to breathe into this. We're going to do a couple rounds of that. I am ready to release old habits. One more round. Just let your feet drop. Maybe gently sway side to side. Kind of let that sink in. I find that a pause between asanas, between our practices, between tools, it really helps my body just soak in the goodness. All right, so turn over to your right side and kind of gently push yourself up. We're going to do next asana we're going to do is called butterfly. This one, bring your feet together. You can hold onto your toes, however you're comfortable. You might be way out here. You might be wherever you are. Wherever you are, be comfortable. Yoga should never hurt, okay? Now, this is butterfly. We're going to gently flap our butterfly wings. And we're going to say to ourselves, I am open to trust. We are butterflies. I am open to trust. Feel your root, feel your spine, feel your nice straight back. Your neck is tucked up and in, your chin is tucked up and in. I am open to trust. Okay, again, pause between. Shake it out if it feels good. That's butterfly. Now we're going to come up to standing. Gently bring yourself to standing position. And we're going to do wide-legged forward fold. So I want you to bring your feet wide on your mat. And we're going to lean out, straight out first. And then allow yourself just to fall. And I want you to say to yourself, you can hold onto your elbows and gently sway, however feels good to you, wherever you are too. Again, it should never hurt. Just go to the edge of your comfort zone. And I want you to say to yourself, I surrender to gravity. I surrender to gravity. I surrender to gravity. Feel your feet. Feel your feet grounded. Bend your knees. Keep your knees a little bit. Don't straighten your legs here. Feels nice. You can sway gently back and forth. I surrender to gravity. Now gently, slowly bring yourself back up. Now inversions like that are really good. When you bring your body upside down, I could feel myself like my side body really letting go of some tension in that asana. Our next asana is called body drops. And this is actually our last asana for the day, and then we'll do meditation in a siddhasana at the end. So again, comfortable cross-legged position, whatever works for you. I'm going to put my heels under my legs this time, and I'm not so worried about my hips being higher for this particular exercise. So take your hands, either you can use your fingertips or your fists, and what you're doing is you're pushing yourself up off the ground. I'm lifting my bum. I'm long-waisted, so I need a little more length, so I use fists. And I'm going to lift my body up and drop my body. And I'm going to breathe out when I do. I release what does not serve me. I release what does not serve me. I release what does not serve me. And breath in. Releasing breath out. Feels good to you, do another round. Again, any of these practices, if there's a particular yoga asana and it feels great for you, keep doing it. Now, we're going to do our closing meditation, and I like moving meditations myself. This one is a grounding meditation. So we're going to stand again, kind of Tadasana. You want your hips, shoulder, and about hip width apart. Your feet about hip width apart. And we're going to bring our hands out in front of us, okay? And we're going to gently, I have to remember, we're going to gently exhale and bend our knees. And inhale, up, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. I am grounded and connected to the earth. Inhale. I am grounded and connected to the earth. I am grounded and connected to the earth. I am grounded and connected to the earth. Thirty more seconds. Feel the earth, feel gravity, feel your root you built earlier, your mind's eye. Feel your feet, all four corners of each foot. Just a few more seconds. I am grounded and connected to the earth. Okay, shake it off. Let's let that go. And now we're gonna do Tadasana, and I'm gonna walk you through your body during Tadasana today. This is another tool that you can use when you're going to bed at night and you're having trouble sleeping. What we're gonna do is lie on our backs, feet comfortably laid out, palms in the backs of your hands on the ground. And we're going to work our way through our body. We're going to breathe in and breathe out to clear. And now when we breathe in next, we're going to start with our toes, squeezing our toes. Breathe in, tensing your toes. Breathing out, relaxing. Breathing in, tensing your heels, feeling anything in there, and then breathing out, relaxing. Next, your calves. Breathe in. Breathe out, relax those calves. Knees, breathe in, tense around your knees. Breathe out, relax. Breathe into your thighs, tension, and then breathe out, relax. Now your glutes, breathe into those glutes, tense them up, and then breathe out, relax. Next, your stomach muscles, breathe into your lower belly. Breathe in, tension, and then out, relax. Now we're going to expand our lower belly, this time the front. Breathing in, breathing out, relaxing. Your rib cage, breathing in, expanding around your rib cage, and then breathing out, relaxing. Now let's breathe in and press our lower back down to the mat, and then breathe out, relax. Breathe in, press your shoulder blades against the mat. Breathe out, relax. Breathe in, bring your shoulders up and forward. And breathe out, relax. Upper arms, breathe in, tension. Breathe out, relax. Elbows, breathe in, push those elbows against the mat. Breathe out, relax. Breathe into your lower arms, tensing those, and then breathe out, relaxed. Now your wrists, breathe in, tense in your wrists, and then breathe out, relaxed. Breathe in, fingers, tension, clenching, and then releasing, breathing out, relaxing. Up to the neck, bring the back of your neck towards the mat, breathe in, and then breathe out, relax. Now bring your chin up, bring your neck forward, and then breathe out, relax. Your head, squeeze your head against the mat, breathe out, relax. And now your face, tense your face, bring it together. Breathe out, relax. Finding your brow, knit your brow, tension, and then breathe out, relax, and feel relaxing. Spread from your toes to the tips of your top of your head. And take a few moments of breathing here. Really feeling those lungs expand. Feel your belly rise and fall. And slowly yawn. I encourage yawning. If you ever feel like yawning, let's do a full body stretch. Yawning, I consider to be the original face yoga. Let's bring ourselves over to our sides. So anytime you feel like yawning, and that push and pull, that stretch that you have when you're first waking up, that's kind of the feeling that you're going for with this walking through your body. And it's like you're pushing and pulling at the same time, like those morning stretches, right? That's how we want to those are really good for our bodies. So we're intentionally working ourselves into a state of relaxation. Okay? So there you go. That's the Dark Night Toolbox, session 1 of what are you chakran about. We explored some knowledge, we did some statements, we made some sound, we did some pranayama breathing exercises, some visualization, meditation, some yoga, sauna. Whatever worked for you. And like I said, the one I really want you to remember, that 4-part breath pranayama is a godsend. It's like so helpful. I hope that some or all of this will help you. I personally, my body feels great after this practice. And I hope to see you next time when we explore the sacral chakra. Until then, have a great time. Bye.